We're asking the questions you didn't know you can ask your banker. Join us on a financial journey as we help you take it to the next level.
Hi, everybody. I'm Morgan from the marketing department at Valley Bank, and I'm sitting here today with Kenny Mohammed, one of our market managers. We're going to talk a little bit about the philosophy at the retail branches at Valley, how we train our personal bankers, the overall vibe that you can expect, and what we try to ensure we're giving to our customers when they come into the branch and work with us. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know you drove a bit of a ways to get here, so we really appreciate it.
Yeah, 10.
Can you tell our audience where you are a market manager and what it means to be a market manager?
So I am a market manager at 21st and Broadway. It's the Gramercy branch. I recently took on the Broadway branch, which is 450 Broadway, to help that branch out and to help with the leadership and guidance there for that team. So basically, for me, being a market manager is really about helping and leading my team, right? Guiding them, coaching them on, what we do here at Valley and how to uncover needs with our customers, having conversations.
So your team would be created from our personal bankers?
Correct. So
Okay.
we have quite a few personal bankers. We've also been in a program where we've been adding rising talent, right?
Oh.
So, which means basically there are some people who don't have banking background, they don't have banking knowledge, but they have the willingness to learn and they want to understand about banking.
Okay, got it. So you're helping people come into this career path, basically, training them while also getting that real life work experience, which is really cool.
Absolutely.
So give us a little history on your background. Before you became a market manager, did you start as a personal banker? How did you get into banking? What inspires you about being in this role?
So that's a good question, right? I actually started banking a little while back. I got an opportunity. My aunt was actually walking. She worked out in Long Island in Central Avenue.
Okay.
So she was walking down the street and there was a sign, they're looking for part-time bankers. I was working in a supermarket at that time.
Okay.
So basically she went in, spoke to the manager, said, hey, I have a nephew. He's looking to get into banking. And they're like, yeah, we'll send him in. So I went and had an interview with the assistant manager.
Okay.
She loved everything that I had to say. And then she said, could you come back tomorrow? I want you to meet my manager.
Mm-hmm.
Went in there, had a conversation with them. And they're like, could you start on Monday? I'm like, yeah, sure. So I started as a part-time teller for a bank, 3 days a week. And I just literally started there and grew my career from part-time teller, head teller, platform CSR. Then I moved on to assistant manager, moved to different branches through the banking network.
Right.
Went into the business banking world, worked with a lot of our customers there, doing some lending. Went into portfolio management.
Oh, wow.
From portfolio management, started on the leadership side with, market managers and understanding that there's a need to teach people that want to learn.
Yeah, and it seems like I think a lot of the people watching this video would not only be inspired by that story, but can maybe understand it from a personal level because so many of us started out with a part-time job, not sure if it would, turn into a career, and then continue to move up the ranks, get, transferred to different departments and become an expert actually in that business. And it led to a career. So it's really nice to see a leader who didn't just step into a role, but really earned that role over time.
So it's funny you should say that because it makes it so relatable when you're talking to somebody who doesn't have that banking experience, right? So like an intern coming in or a rising talent coming in and they're like, well, yeah, I like money, I like banking, I don't know if there's a career.
Right.
And I always tell them, it's like, okay, well, you need to understand the basics before you could move on and before you could be where I am. And, this is just one part
It's a stepping stone.
It's a stepping stone. There's
Right.
so many other levels in
Right.
banking you could get into.
Right.
But yeah, it's amazing because I could relate to everybody when they're going through something because I've been there.
And I think that's so helpful from a leadership perspective because you can really put yourself in their shoes.
Yes.
And I don't think everyone feels that way with their own personal leadership. So knowing everything we know about your background, how does that play a role in how you train and educate the team members who report to you when it comes to what they should be doing for their customers, since you've been in those shoes?
So one of the things, it's really having those conversations with my team in talking to them at a 5th grade level.
Okay.
Right? Breaking it down.
So is that insulting, though, to talk to them at 5th grade level?
No, because I think simplicity it's easy for them to understand.
Okay, so instead of making it too complicated, basics.
Let's break down the walls. Okay. Let's just have a simple conversation like you and I.
Right.
Just a simple conversation.
Yeah.
And understand the basics, so we have one of the things in our training, we talk about our CRB form, right? Client Relationship Builder form.
Okay.
Right? One of the things they always ask is, so why do I need to ask these questions? Why do I need to? I said, because, we're not asking these questions. We're having conversations with them.
Right.
During these conversations, you will hear cues. You'll hear them talk about certain things.
Right.
That they might have a need for, and they don't realize it yet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But we're making notes on this so that we could remember, hey, you know what? This lady's daughter is having a baby. Right? So there's going to be a need for maybe a checking account or a savings account later on for college expenses and all these things.
And it's not necessarily on the customer to think of that. It's now on their personal banker to have that recommendation.
Exactly.
So would you consider that like an advisory approach versus just someone that you go and open up an account with?
Of course. You see, it's all about relationship, right? We are a relationship bank. And I always tell people in my team, I said, people bank with you and I.
That's so true.
Right?
Yeah.
It's because of that relationship we build with them.
Right.
They would pick up the phone. If anything is going on, the first person they should be thinking about is, hey, let me call Kenny. Let me ask him, hey, what is his thought process on this? Right? So we could advise them and give them that guidance that they need.
Yeah, that's such an amazing thing to hear because I don't think most people in general of any age group understand that they can go and talk to or call or email their banker who actually has such good insight into their financial situation and, might not necessarily be a money manager, but can still give them the guidance for the tools to use and, just how to overcome the hurdles that they're facing.
Right. And to that point, it's really advising them in the sense that, listen, maybe you seeing me here in the branch, I may not have everything in here for you.
Right.
But I have the resources,
right?
Because as a bank, we have so many different departments, we have so many different groups that we could reach out to help them, right? And so when they look at the brick and mortar, they look at the branches, they have to realize, like, well, yeah, there's a lot more behind.
It's like the tip of the iceberg.
Yes,
there's a lot more.
There's a lot more, and a lot more we could help you with.
Right.
It's just really about having that conversation.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Now, for people watching who maybe don't go to a branch a lot, we know there's so many digital options for online banking, apps, there's just tons of them. So is there a way that someone watching could actually get that advisory approach without having to go find a Valley branch?
Absolutely. Listen, technology makes things so much easier for us.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Usually.
so much more. You're right. There's a lot of convenience there.
Absolutely.
Right? What I could say to them is, hey, pick up the phone and have a conversation with a banker, right? You don't have to go in there physically, right? Listen, technology, again, you could have a Zoom meeting with your personal banker. You could have a quick call just to brainstorm. Again, with the pandemic that happened, it just changed a lot on how we did things.
Yeah.
So it's really about thinking about outside the box ways we could meet together.
Yeah, Zoom is kind of a level playing field, right? Doesn't matter where you are. Now, if someone watching this said, I like this idea, I'm not sure where to start. Maybe they are part of the New York market.
Right.
Can they reach out to you and you would pair them with a personal banker who might be able to help them with their specific challenges?
Absolutely. One of the things, it's working in teams and working as a group, right? If somebody's seeing this and they say, hey, you know what, I want to talk to Kenny. Call me. Right? I will make it so convenient. I will come to your office. I'll come to your place. We'll sit down. We could grab a cup of coffee. You don't have to come into our branch physically.
Right.
But I'll come in there, I'll come with a personal banker, and we'll just have a conversation.
Yeah.
Try to understand what is it you're looking for and understand your financial needs at that point.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not even about, right there and then, but it's long term, right? Because they may say something, you have an idea, you share that with them. They may not act on it right away, but maybe a month, 2 months, 3 months down the line, you get that call back from that customer, that client that you're speaking to. And it's like, hey, Kenny, you mentioned that rates they look pretty good. Maybe I should refinance now.
Right. Exactly.
And that's those
like
are
seeds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
they take time.
It takes time, but they have that great experience. Guess what happens? They're gonna talk about you. They're gonna talk about you to their friends, their family, and that's how we're gonna, help build our brand as well.
Right, and help continue to support a network of people.
Exactly.
It kind of goes both ways.
It works both ways, and that's where we deepen those relationships in our communities.
Yeah,
because we're able to help them a lot.
Now, have you heard from your team? Are there any common challenges or hurdles people are coming in with since the pandemic that they need help with? Have those challenges or hurdles shifted since we've had a pandemic and what people are trying to accomplish?
There's a lot of things that's happened since the pandemic.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that was
right.
a good question.
So one of the things during the pandemic, just having conversations with my customers when the market rates were really low for real estate, right? People that were paying anything more than 3.5%. We were having conversations, guys, you should probably refinance now, right? Because we don't know what the market's going to be a couple years down the line.
Right. We've already seen that shift.
Now we've seen that shift.
Yeah.
I have customers calling me back and they're like, oh my God, Kenny, thank you so much for allowing me to, for letting me kind of foreseeing that.
Right. Like thinking ahead.
And now, a lot of people who had home equities, right? They were thankful right now because you look at the rates in our home equity, remember, it's not fixed, it's fluctuating.
Right.
So those rates that they were paying 2-3% now, it's 5, 6, 7%.
Right.
Those interest payments are so much more. And the problem now is they can't refinance it because if they refinance, the interest rate is already high.
Right. So kind of in that
place.
And having a banker who thinks ahead means that you might avoid challenges that you would not see coming because we're not the experts as the customer. Do you have any favorite Valley products or tools that you're a personal fan of?
So I love basically Valley. We have a suite of products. Yeah. Right. I love the fact that we're very proactive with our business customers. And one thing I've seen, to go back to your previous question, in shift since the pandemic, there's been a lot of fraud.
Oh, okay. That's really interesting. We do have videos on fraud protection because it is such a big issue right now.
But we have the tools in place to help our businesses and our customers, right? Our fraud protection. We have our positive pay positive pay. ACH positive pay, which gives so much more control to our customers. Right? I love the fact that we could do that. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We have, our online banking system,
which is secure.
It's very secure.
Yeah.
Our mobile banking, I love the fact because it kind of goes hand in hand with fraud in the sense where we could set notifications on our phone for anything that's happening with service.
Okay, so you don't have to go and look necessarily. You get notified as something is happening, so you can almost turn off your autopilot for that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And so many other of our products. We have a slew of checking accounts that we could customize it depending on your needs, right? So
it doesn't seem like you have one favorite. It seems like you're a big fan of the suite of products that we offer because they can be customized to each person in a unique way.
And that's the thing, right? It all depends on what that person's looking for.
Yeah.
Right? The other thing is we have in our CD products, we know what people's plans are by having conversation. What are your short-term needs? What are your long-term needs?
Investment. Exactly. A longer-term investment.
Exactly.
Yeah, for a CD.
We have a great product right now, the 36-month CD. It's variable, but the rate, it fluctuates every month, but it's tied to the Fed rates. So right now, for the yesterday when I checked, it was 5.10 annual percentage, which is really good. Yeah. So customers are putting money in that because, hey, it's long-term. They're not going to touch that for a while.
Exactly. It's a safer way to invest.
Exactly.
Outside of the stock market.
You know.
So before we finish up, do you have any advice or words of inspiration, for anyone watching this who might be kind of just starting out on their financial journey, trying to avoid some issues or, trying to undo some mistakes? We've all made money mistakes. Do you have any words of inspiration or advice?
I would say reach out to your banker, have a conversation, right? Be honest with them, let them know what's going on. Unless you're honest, that's the only way they could help you, right? And find a need that will get you where you need to be.
Yeah.
Right. And yes, you know what? Sometimes, like I said, it may not be something right now, but later on. And you may not be affected, but you might know somebody who is being affected by, some bad financial situations. And we could help you through that. We could show you how to just have a conversation, how to fix your credit. What are some of the steps you need to take, right? If you're looking to buy a car, if you're looking to buy a house, right? What are the steps you're looking to? And we could set a game plan to help you get there.
And I think one of the hardest things, and I've heard this from people of all ages, is talking about money. Between couples, it's hard, to your family, friends, to your coworkers. It's a little bit taboo and it's stressful. So as Kenny said, don't be scared to have that conversation. Your personal banker is there to be not your financial therapist, but it's all confidential and they are the experts in helping you get over those hurdles. So thank you again. This is Kenny Mohammed, one of our market managers in the NYC area. And if you want to work with him or his team, please feel free to reach out and he'll connect you with the right person for your needs. See you next time.